Hello, welcome to my video discussion of toys versus models when it comes to toy cars, model cars. As you know, I have a channel about model cars, reviewing them generally, quick reviews, and you'll find that on there. But here I'm trying to talk about toys. So, in the UK, and you might be aware that I'm from the UK, I'm English. Here are a couple of toys. So we've got a Lamborghini Countach. In fact, it might even be, it is an LP500. Well, there was one LP500. You can tell by this air intake that this is an LP500 or a replica of that original car, which was, of course, yellow and was crash tested and destroyed. And Lamborghini have recently reproduced it. But this is a Matchbox model. I'm not sure what the scale is, somebody can tell me, but if we look, it's going to be somewhere between this 43rd scale and this 64th scale car. So there we've got a full, so it's going to be, it's probably a bit shorter than a Ford GT, so it's probably around, I don't know, a 58th or a 55th scale model car. So somebody can put in the comments what that is, but that's fairly beside the point. Now, of course, model cars can be collectible. Let's just think about that a moment. Here is a model car I had when I was a child. I did have one of these Countachs by Matchbox, but this is not that one. This was one I bought more recently, maybe 10 years ago. Whereas this Rolls-Royce Silver Spirit is a car I had from my childhood, and as you can see, I decided to paint it in yellow when I was a child. So very much a toy. I would play with my toy cars, and I really enjoyed that, and it was one of the things that probably got me into cars, or it just expressed my interest in cars. So it's yeah, anyway, there we go. A little Rolls-Royce. That might be the only Rolls-Royce I've got, actually. So put that to one side. But also, so in a way that's collectible to me because I owned it myself when I was a child. This one here, again, I bought this in effect collecting it because it was the same as one that I had as a child. So whether a model is collectible, whether a car is collectible or not, doesn't determine whether it's a toy or a model. Now, of course, the toys have to have rolling wheels because you are playing with them, and that's the idea. You're playing cars with them. And this Ferrari F40 here, of course, it's got rolling wheels. Now, if we compare that with this Ferrari F40, which is a 1/43rd scale red line models, Ferrari F40, a gorgeous model, actually. I'm not a huge fan of the F40. It's not a bad car. I prefer the GTO, often known as the 288 GTO. And this is a evolution of that car, of course. But this is a gorgeous model. And if I move it, you can hear the wheels squealing and they don't turn very well. So maybe that's one of the differences between a model and a toy. And of course, you don't want your model car falling out of its, if you've got it in a display case or something, or a set of shelves, you don't want it falling off. And of course, wheels are going to help it fall off. Whereas this Mini Champs Countach has got nicely rolling wheels. Actually, you could use that as a toy. And it has got a broken windscreen wiper, so you'd imagine maybe it has been used as a toy before I bought it. But anyway, but of course, the model is going to be much more accurate and much more expensive because you can buy models like this. So let's bring out a modern model like this one. And here we have a Hot Wheels Phil's Garage 69 Charger. And I haven't taken it out of its packaging, as you can see. So let's get a better look at that. There's the rest of the packaging. There's the underside. So typically they are much cheaper, and of course you can get a lot of Hot Wheels cars for £1. I don't know if in America you can get them for $1, possibly, but I bought this at the Peterson Automotive Museum in Los Angeles in 2012, and that was the time that I managed to see the one and only show car, the Lancia Stratos Zero. And at that point in its life, it was a coppery colour, and I now have a model of that, an HPI model of that, but I couldn't, bizarrely enough, at the Peterson Museum buy a model of that car, because interestingly at the Peterson Museum they tended to sell toy cars rather than model cars. And yes, this is a collectible toy car, so I don't have a problem with owning it. I think it's fine to collect toys or whatever you want, teaspoons, owls, whatever. But and there is a joy to be had from owning this particular model car, this particular toy car, and it's a nice one. They've put effort into it. Hot Wheels traditionally had a bit more vavavoom or panache to them, a bit more style about them. They were kind of modified cars, whereas the Matchbox range in the UK were just replicating production cars. So there's a toy car from Hot Wheels. So again, if we go back to, say, this relatively modern Matchbox toy, Matchbox Ferrari F40, and we compare it with the model Ferrari F40, of course the scale is bigger, so you're going to have more accuracy on there, but these are built to a price. They have this one moulding for the glass, they have one upper die casting, they have one lower, nowadays plastic. They used to always be die cast, and in fact I think that Dodge Charger was die cast, the base. They would also have an interior moulding, so that interior moulding was all one thing with painted, I assume it's one thing with painted detail there perhaps, although it is hard to paint that, so maybe that's a separate thing that's just clicked into place or something, and the windscreen wiper is moulded into there. So that's a big deal. Yes, you've got more detail on these cars. They're more expensive, a lot more expensive. These new, I guess, would have been £70-80, I'm not really sure, whereas this would have been £1 or £1.50. So they're not trying to replicate the wheels. You have generic wheels on these cars, and even with the Dodge Charger from Hot Wheels, partly, well, it is a particular wheel. I wonder if anyone else uses that wheel, or they use that wheel on another model at all. I don't know, but it's nice to see but they're producing these in such volume they can produce another wheel, and it won't put too much cost into the item. These Matchbox cars were sold in boxes rather than in plastic pouches on cards, and I did like those boxes, and of course you can open them and still keep the box intact, whereas I don't know whether Hot Wheels are pandering to some kind of collectible market by putting them in these, because I can't take this out of here without ruining the card, which is a real shame. I want to be able to take it out, display it, and put it back, and of course I can do that with all my model cars. So this is an odd one, because of course people will collect these in their boxes and you can't take them out, or they'll collect them taken out and you can't interchange, you can't put them back in. So that's a slightly weird thing. Now, but looking at the scale again, if we compare it with this 64th scale model car, so this is Shmee 150's, the channel Shmee 150, his Ford GT, and with the Alan Mann paint scheme, you can immediately see the accuracy. The wheels absolutely different. You've got wing mirrors you don't have on this. You've got a windscreen wiper, and there it's moulded in. You've got more engine detail there. You've got good interior detail. I mean, there is interior detail on here. That's not a problem. And of course, a moulding, how much detail you have is almost free. It's just the quality of the mould and the nature of the plastic you use, but it's not going to make too much difference to the price. But the I mean, the crispness of these shut lines in the die cast, so this will be die cast resin, of course, whereas this will be die cast metal. You still don't get that sharpness in there that you'd really want in more expensive model, but it's perhaps a little bit, sharper detail than on this cheaper car, but not too much. More it's about what extra bits have they done. They've got the lights inside the lenses, and here, or the light covers, and here you've just got the light covers. You can't afford to have the glasses, and you've got outsized stickers. Is that sticker even central? Not exactly, no. So the process for putting that on isn't amazing, whereas on here the quality control, let's have a look at that stripe. It's not bad at all, so definitely higher quality, and of course you've got a Ford badge on the front, so yeah, you've got a difference there. So those are the differences I see between models and toys, both of which can be collectible. I'm sure some people play with their model cars, their £100 43rd scale model car, smashing it around, if you're super rich or something. I don't know, maybe there's a YouTube video on a parent who has a kid who plays with their model car collection. I don't know. Anyway, I've had a little bit of fun doing this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. You'll have thought of loads more things about this topic than I have, so do put them in the comments. Feel free to subscribe to my channel. I tend to put a new video out on every Friday tea time in the UK, and got reviews of 43rd, 64th, 18th and 12th scale cars, Redline, Spark, HPI, some good stuff there. So Kyosho, Tamiya, and so on. Racing cars, road cars. Thanks for watching, and you'll hear from me again soon.